can also learn the rudiment of governing a country by looking at how John Mahama is going to work to restore hope and confidence of the people. Once you've been able to learn that, then you would be better placed to be able to offer some criticism, against the government. But for now, remain quiet and focus on rebuilding your party. Well, William.
From the west coast of Africa, straight down to the sandy beaches of Ghana, go by the name Mr. Celebrity. Today we are going to be talking about politics. Now, Professor Gyampo fumes and declares that the NPP, as was known that during Kufuor's era, right? During Kufuor's era, it was touted, or he used the word cliche, that it was a cliche that NPP knew how to govern, but they did not know how to win elections. Listen, that the NPP knew how to govern, but they did not know how to win elections. He called this a cliche, owing to the fact that Nana Akufo-Addo has come to authenticate this fact that the NPP, the New Patriotic Party, does not know how to govern at all, because everything that the NPP stood for was a lie. Saying that Nana Akufo-Addo said he was going to, for example, bring one district, one factory. But the question is, do you have a factory in your district? One village, one dam. If you go to your hometown, is there a dam there? And these are the sort of things, unprecedented things, bloating of the government, certain expenses that were needless, so many allegations of corruption, Galamsey mentioned, and he feels because of this, the NPP does not know how to govern. And so right now, they should shut up. They should shut up because they are overly criticizing. The Mahama administration just came to power just about 4 days ago. And already they want to heap all of the problems of Ghana to the president, when they deliberately decided that they were going to put Ghana in Dumso. Something that was orchestrated, not buying fuel, just so the country will go into Dumso, so that they will say that the NDC is responsible for this particular Dumso. But hey, yeah, we understand there is some good news somewhere. We hope that the lights remain on, so that this evil plan that was orchestrated by these people would not materialize. So let me not take the words out of his mouth. I'm taking you straight to the layout of Professor Gyampo. Let's go.
In academia, you earn your promotion by hard work. Okay, what we do is we do a lot of research, and then you publish your research in outlets, internationally reputable journals, and all that. Now, to be able to get a paper published in a journal, it will have to be peer reviewed. The idea of peer review is just about the paper that you have written being anonymized and being sent to people who are expert in that area to review what you have written, to tell you whether what you've written is nonsense or what you've written is good and must be published. So before coming here last dawn, I received a paper that I was told to review and recommend whether it has to be published or it doesn't have to be published. And then the editor of the journal, a journal in the UK, said that we've sent this paper to you to review because you have done extensive work in that area and you are an expert and also an authority in that area. And so I looked at the paper and then I was trying to see if I could salvage it, if I could see something good about it. But I had to criticize and criticize and criticize. Even when I want to comment, but there was nothing worth commenting about it. So I recommended the rejection of that paper.
Right.
Before coming here. Now, the MPP government under J. Kufuor, or after J. Kufuor, was touted with a cliche that as for the MPP, they know how to govern, but they don't know how to win elections. They know how to govern, but they don't know how to win elections. And look, I still have an admiration for J. Kufuor, even though I was disappointed with the fact that he refused to stay as a statesman and indulge himself in unnecessary partisan politics without even reading to be able to foretell that the election of 2024 was going to be a disaster for the MPP. He couldn't do that, but I still respect him. But generally, under government, in his term of government, he governed such that even though some people disagree, there was a cliche that the MPP knows how to govern very well. But when it comes to winning elections, they don't know how to do it. NDC, they know how to win elections, but when it comes to governing, they also don't know how to govern. But the history of governance under Mr. Akufo-Addo has shown that the MPP doesn't know how to govern at all. The history of governance under Mr. Akufo-Addo has shown that when it comes to governance, MPP is very incompetent.
Wow, why do you say that?
And so, well, you let me finish. By the time I'm done, you would understand. And so, why do I say that? Compare all the indicators. Okay, governance indicators. Winner takes all politics. I'm talking about that practice of state capture and partisan monopolization of power, authority, resources, and everything surrounding power by a ruling party, the president and his cronies, to the exclusion and marginalization of all other Ghanaians. As winner takes all politics. Didn't we see it in its worst form under Akufo-Addo? The only thing he could do was to make Edward Nasigri Mahama an ambassador at large, just to silence him, just to kill his political ambition. Beyond that, what did he do in trying to reach out to bring up? That's one governance indicator. Look at corruption. Look at all the indicators, indices, how he governed. The fact that he could command the chiefs to be getting up to be greeting him. Who are you? So, in terms of governance, see, when we talk about governance, steering affairs of the state, good governance, efficient and effective management of scarce state resources such that it translates into developmental outcome that can tangibly be reflected in the lives of people. That's good governance. Did he do that? All he did was presidential gaslighting, telling people that things are well, but things are not well. I've done well in constructing Agenda 111. Where are the hospitals? You go around, you can see. One district, one factory. People are always looking for jobs. You go there, factories are not working. There are no factories. Those that are there, they are merely a facade. So in terms of governance, the MPP doesn't know how to govern at all. And I'm saying this because the history of governance under President Akufo-Addo has shown this. So, in my view, the relevance of the MPP now won't lie in its failed officials forcing themselves to quickly criticize the administration of John Mahama when they themselves, they don't know how to govern. You see, they brought me the paper to review, and I rejected that paper because they themselves, they said that you are an authority in this area. So you will be able to critique the administration and the governance style of John Mahama when you yourself, you know how to govern. But when clearly you have shown that you have no idea, you have no clue when it comes to governance, then respectfully, you must keep mute. And especially when your own party is in tatters, risking disintegration. Focus on how you are going to be rescuing the soul of your party and leave that job of offering criticisms to CSOs and to some of us. For some of us, we have permanent interests in Ghana. We don't have permanent friends. And so just as we criticize President Akufo-Addo, I do not have any cause to believe that or to be scared that President Mahama would betray the trust of Ghanaians. I don't think he will do that. But in the most unlikely event that he derails, we would bring him back on track through constructive criticism. And so, dear MPP people, your relevance would not lie in your very failed officials' attempt to quickly offer unnecessary criticisms to an administration that is less than a week old. Suddenly you found your voice. You want to criticize. But do you know how to govern? You do not even have a clue when it comes to governance. And so on what basis are you going to be criticizing? Just keep quiet. Focus on your party that is in tatters, that is risking disintegration. Rescue the soul of the party. Rid the party of all remnants of Akufo-Addoism and make sure that the party is restored to its tradition to become viable in some future elections. We need, Ghana is not it's a multi-party democracy, and so we need a viable opposition. As it stands now, your party is not viable, and you have to focus on how to rebuild it, how to marginalize and relegate to the background Nana Akufo-Addo and his remnants just for the purposes of restoring the party to its tradition. Do this first, and if you have done this and the party is standing on its feet, then you can also learn the rudiment of governing a country by looking at how John Mahama is going to work to restore hope and confidence of the people. Once you've been able to learn that, then you would be better placed to be able to offer some criticism, against the government. But for now, remain quiet and focus on rebuilding your party. Well, William.
So there you have it. I am not the one saying it. This is coming from Professor Gyampo. Professor Gyampo, a political science professor of the University of Ghana. He says the NPP does not know how to govern. The question to you is, do you think they know how to govern? If they know how to govern, why was inflation on the rise? Why was the cedi free falling? Why was the sabotage of headmasters so much so that even headmasters, heads of institutions were unable to talk? Everybody was afraid. Anyways, let me leave you to make your own judgments. To remain Mr. Celebrity. If you have not subscribed yet, please hit on the subscription button.